insert your country here. We got them up in Canada, just like you do. Don't you worry.
5G stands for global warming.
Lore Boys here, fulfilling more requests here in our personal Thunderdome. My name is Peter O'Donohue, and I am joined by...
Oh, now I know what we're doing.
It wasn't Quake. You guys just saw me playing Quake.
I did assume it's Quake. I'm Ethan. Thunderbone.
James Miller, Thunderdome. That's a location in season 1 of Apex Legends. Are we doing Apex Legends again?
No.
Yeah, thank God.
No, we are not. Yeah,
it's Mad Max, right? It's Mad Max 2 is Thunderdome.
This week we'll be covering Mad Max. Yeah, exactly. The third one is Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. Exactly.
Okay.
Mad Max has been requested a few times by our patrons, and this was a Patreon only request a week for me. I reached out in the Prime Folks Discord channel. If you want to get in there, you got to pay us. That's pay to play, but your voice always matters, and whatnot. So I kind of did that there. Also, we missed this the past couple of weeks. Welcome to our newest patrons, which are Anja Sandal, Nathan Madden, and Josh Lefrancois. So welcome and thank you so much. For anybody who is not supporting us, there is no need, but we always appreciate it.
Thanks.
His name is Josh the Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, there was
cool.
a No Name 309. Was one of them that you mentioned, No Name 309?
I think that would be the middle one.
Okay. The middleest stepchild. If not,
exactly.
hi also No Name 309. But we assume that
And
you were
thank you
already
very
mentioned.
much.
If you were already mentioned, then you don't get two. So disregard one of those.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with Mad Max? Movies, game, anything?
Nope.
Yeah, it's a bunch of spiky boys out in the desert competing for some oil, is what I know.
Oil and water, right? Gas and water. Those are like the two big commodities. I know it's post-apocalyptic. I know that, like Jamie says, a lot of leather and spikes.
Borderlands. It looks like Borderlands.
Yeah, they ripped off Borderlands. They ripped off 2K and just made Borderlands the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't get the rights.
There's like a really old Mad Max movie too, right? Like, is it just from the 80s or is it like from...
The first one
there's
came
a
out in
new
the
one.
70s.
Yeah, there's a
70s,
new
like
one,
that.
basically. They did a reboot with Tom Hardy.
There are 4, exactly. The first 3 have Mel Gibson of racist tirade fame, and also Chicken Run, which is I actually prefer to his tirade, personally. And Braveheart, obviously. And then the 4th one is...
I don't think you have to explain who Mel Gibson is.
A canonical sequel. He was in What Women Want, if anybody on the server has seen
That helps. If that helps. Yeah, he was in Signs. He was the the man who gave up his
Braveheart.
faith in Signs. Yep.
Braveheart.
Braveheart was already
Half-
said, Jamie, but good try.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just a Blue Man Group guy who didn't commit, you know?
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah, just the like the Celtic or the Scottish like blue line.
They were halfway through doing their makeup for the auditions when war broke out after the king prima nocted Mel Gibson's wife or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or he tries to and she refuses, so he slits her throat, I think is the catalyst for Braveheart.
I haven't seen it since it was probably 15, 20 years. I don't know. So
What's the movie? What's the movie where he's yelling "sake" over and over again because he's drying
that's
out
Tom
from
Cruise, and that's The Last Samurai.
Okay.
I know exactly the scene you meant. Anytime somebody offers me sake, if I've had enough to drink at the time, I will yell it like Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
I think I watched it at your parents' place while drinking, so that makes sense why I remember.
I'm a big fan of that movie. I really enjoy it.
Okay.
I like it as well. Anyway, it's not that, but it is.
We're not
Mad
doing
Max.
The Last Samurai?
No, exactly. I personally have not seen the first Mad Max movie. I got a free copy of it on Blu-ray when I bought Fallout New Vegas on Xbox 360, and they just
What a
included
strange
that.
tale.
They included that with my copy of New Vegas. Obviously, because I was buying New Vegas for Xbox, you may have gathered I did not own a Blu-ray player, so I think Kyle has the disc now. So
You're buying
I have no idea.
You're buying some laundry detergent. Do you want some carrots?
Yeah.
These
Will
two
these
things
work in
didn't
my
go
washing
together.
machine?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't put the carrots in your washing machine.
Yeah. While you're buying round stuff, perhaps you'd also like one of those like sanding discs for carpentry,
for a palm
maybe.
sander.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you want something like that too? I never watched it because I didn't have a Blu-ray player up until much more recently, and I had just given it away because it was completely useless to me. But that's how I got it. And I watched the fourth movie, Fury Road, at some point, and it's good.
I've heard it was good.
That's the most recent one, yeah. Mad Max was conceived as a drama about a journalist slowly becoming desensitized to tragedy and violence by his constant reporting on it. This was inspired by director George Miller's time as a doctor in Sydney. He worked with ambulances and in ERs and stuff. Saw a lot of car accidents, saw a lot of like wounded people and a lot of people who had been hurt, and that inspired him to be like, oh yeah, like I am getting a bit desensitized to this, like I should make a movie. And in 1971, he met Byron Kennedy, who was an amateur filmmaker, and the two like went off and started to make a movie. The first thing they made together was in the early 70s called Violence in Cinema Part 1, and they screened it at a bunch of film festivals.
What a captivating title that is.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to go watch a textbook be read on screen for me.
Very, very first year film student title. I did not look it up, but
it's just a video of Nick Cage punching women in the face from Wicker Man, I think.
I love that scene. It's so good when he's dressed up as a bear and just like sucker punches that lady.
Like that movie, he's yelling "bees, not the bees!"
I'm under the impression that Jamie has seen a few movies, none of which have Mel Gibson in them.
I can't think of a single one, actually. Yeah.
Have you seen Chicken Run?
A long time. I remember, like, put your head between your knees, something, sky's falling.
Kiss Your Butt Goodbye.
Yeah.
No chicken escapes from Tweedy's farm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
I don't like gravy?
is it in the Wallace and Gromit cinematic universe or what?
Aardman made it. I don't know if it's in the universe.
Yeah, it's by the creators of. I don't know if it's in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not? We'll say Lord Boy's canon. Chicken Run, part of the Wallace and Gromit cinematic universe.
Yeah, why not?
WGCU when?
Cheese. So due to their lack of budget or generous patrons, audibly winks into the mic, the pair had to shoot in abandoned buildings, shitty parking lots, and small rural towns. And because of their shitty locations, the film gradually devolved into a post-apocalyptic movie.
That is amazing.
They were just like, no one is going to believe that this is a newspaper. Because it was just like the worst warehouse with like shitty offices available in like Adelaide or something. It's like, nah, this doesn't work. And the film takes place in Australia following the collapse of society caused by the 1973 oil crisis. This occurred when OPEC, led by Saudi Arabia, placed an embargo on multiple countries that it suspected of supporting Israel during the Yom Kippur War.
Gotcha.
In the 70s. This is one of those Nixon problems.
There you go. He was famous for problems.
Yeah, Richard Nixon. Yeah, old tricky dick. I think his slogan, we may have talked about this, was "You can't lick dick" or something like that. Was like during his re-election campaign.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, just that's what I think. Anyway,
if I just type "you can't lick dick" into Google, you're telling me Richard Nixon's gonna? Oh, Richard Nixon comes up. Yeah. They can't lick our dick. Richard Nixon button on eBay.
Okay, Google, can I lick dick?
Okay,
no,
on eBay,
lick our dick.
This is authentic, or claims to be authentic. $10.75 each, or buy two for $8.60 each. It's a pretty decent price.
I'd buy one. We got all those patrons. Now that we're thanking, we could spend that on some Richard Nixon memorabilia. Why not?
I think that's what they want. We need Lore Boys merch now of a button that says "They can lick our dick" with just Peter smiling like Richard Nixon, doing his best, his best Richard Nixon impression.
I need the jowls.
You need more jowls.
Yeah. Now this is the reason I didn't tell you guys what the episode was. It's been a while since I've bait and switched y'all. That's all the lore that there was for Mad Max.
Really?
That's it.
That was it.
It's all the real life lore. You could get into
they had no intention of making a post-apocalyptic movie, so they did not set up a universe. Regarding the bait and switch, I'm actually doing Resident Evil, which is a different patron request.
That's cool, though. I'm glad you handled it, because I wasn't ready to deal with the RE fans. But I'm so excited to learn more about it.
This must be a multi-parter, right? Like, it's the lore goes crazy.
I went into so I am sorry to anybody who got into this one. I did specifically put this in here to remind myself, if you know where I can get or find the good, like maybe from a comic or something like that, the good Mad Max lore, I will cover it. But I spent a couple hours writing my script yesterday, and I was just like, even this like timeline of Mad Max starts with just like, there's nothing here. They had no intention of making a post-apocalypse movie, and I was like, oh. Well, maybe we could have some fun with this anyway. And then when I was looking at some other requests that we had Resident Evil pop up a bunch. So Resident Evil is actually requested by our new patron, Anja Sandal, and backed up by the disgusting, unwashed, non-patron trio of Max Freaks, All My Guts, and Nuckloose Silver. So, there we go.
I can't wait to see how Mel Gibson ties into the Resident Evil lore.
Exactly. Well, him and Wallace and Gromit teaming up to fucking lay those tracks from the Mad Max desert all the way to Raccoon City, to Racon City. Where Julian from Trailer Park Boys is shooting at Rakins.
Fucking Rakins. The Resident Evil we're going to be covering now is actually just the Umbrella Corporation. The least spooky part, so that we can pick up basically anywhere, because it is insane for the actual Halloween season.
The umbrellas to stop the sky from falling in Chicken Run.
That's true.
I think that's Little Chicken.
Chicken Little.
That's
Chicken
it.
Little.
What's Chicken Run? Oh, never mind. It's not the Chicken Run episode. Sorry.
It's quickly turning into the Chicken Run episode.
So I've personally only played Resident Evil 4 and 5, so now let's start over here, baby, after a little bit of bait and switch. How you guys doing with Resident Evil?
I've played 2. I think I've played 3. Wait, 2 was Nemesis, right? Was 2 Nemesis or was 3 Nemesis?
3 is Nemesis.
Okay, I've played 3. I've played 4. I've beaten 4. I've beaten 5 like 10 times because I had it on Xbox 360 and it had couch co-op. And I watched my roommate play the first 10 minutes of 6, and I think I said to myself, this is the worst video game I've ever seen, and vowed I would never play it. Just the writing is so bad in it. Like, oh my god, it's painful to watch.
I played a bit of 4 at a friend's. I think I beat 5, but it's been so long. Then I played all of 7 in VR on Twitch in the time this podcast has been alive, actually. And oh, that was awful. And there's a part where I got to where I had to fight the woman with the hive vagina, and I didn't have enough bullets. So in order to preserve the quality of the stream and not just like try and do this over and over again, in between streams, I did a 2-hour speed run up until that point in the game, but saved as many bullets as I could.
Oh my god!
I didn't have the Twitch chat to keep me alive, like to keep my spirits up. So I played 2 hours straight by myself in VR of Resident Evil 7, and I went for a walk and like shakily smoked a cigarette by myself because I was like, it was too much.
God damn. Traumatized by it.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, much, if not all, of the Resident Evil or Biohazard lore, or Biohazard in Japan, that is, lore revolves around the Umbrella Corporation, which is come on guys, misunderstood big pharmaceutical company. Let's be real. They're not bad guys.
Is it one pharmaceutical company, or is it like a collection of pharmaceutical companies all under one umbrella?
Umbrella?
The Umbrella name comes before they start making up other little getting into other industries and making up little shell companies for things. So they either knew or it was just a happy coincidence.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello.
Yeah. So Umbrella's beginnings were humble enough. In 1966, Dr. James Marcus developed a hypothesis that an African flower called the Stairway of the Sun, or the Sonnentrep in German, bestowed powers to the people who consumed it through its mutagenic DNA.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
This should be familiar to anybody who's played 5, because this is where you find the flowers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the story. I remember Chris punching through boulders. I remember a lot of racist undertones. I remember when you fight the troll and you have to like run to the different Gatling guns, the scene in the back of the Jeeps.
I remember you like going across a bridge and then like a truck full of zombies come like directly at you.
Is
that 5?
Yeah, that was 5.
That happens in 4 as well. They have like a truck that you can just shoot the shit out of and it blows up.
Yeah, that's before PewDiePie ruined bridges for all games.
Yeah. in 5 you shoot it, and I remember specifically you get if you shoot like the oil cans in front of the truck and like blow it up, you get the achievement Baptism by Fire. That's the specific achievement.
That rings a bell too, actually. Yeah.
And right after that, you go through like the train yards, and there's all like the tripwire C4 and the dogs. Like you see dogs for the first time in the game.
Right.
In 5, you'd seen them before in the series, but
I've seen a dog before. I know what that looks like.
I played Resident Evil 1 once, actually. Now that I think of it, it was free on PS Plus and it's so janky. Like to save, you have to like find
you need ink ribbons,
or something, ink ribbons, to print it out. And I played for half an hour. I opened the front door. I just tried to leave the house the thing set in, and a dog jumped and bit my face. I didn't save once, so half an hour progress was gone. And then I never played it again.
That's 30 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. He says after admitting to speedrunning Resident Evil 7 just to have more bullets.
That was for the stream. I looked at our stream stats today, and those are some of our best streams, even to date.
For sure.
Yeah, so Dr. James Marcus is kind of the original tourist who like goes into the forest to hire like an in quotes shaman to hold his bucket while he pukes out ayahuasca, because he like read about a neat tribal flower and he's like, this would probably give someone superhuman abilities. In the same way Joe Rogan thinks cactus flowers will open your third chakra or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Just horse paste rubbing it in your eyes is better than FDA approved medicine and all that stuff.
Dr. James Marcus would be on the podcast talking about the Sonnentrep flower. He'd be like, wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Gus Johnson has a great bit about pretending he's the Spotify rep that signed on Joe Rogan, and he just keeps saying all this crazy shit. He's like, he said what? And then like, Joe, you can't be like just like dealing with the damage control of all the bullshit he says. But
hey man, that guy hit Spotify. Our stats went up with it and never went down. So fucking God bless him. It's not bad. So yeah, the Sonnentrep flower is a Astraceae flower, making it related to sunflowers and chrysanthemums. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
Today I learned sunflowers and chrysanthemums are related. Is the Astraceae flower a real flower? No, it's a Resident Evil flower.
No, Astraceae is the current species that has chrysanthemums and sunflowers and other flowers within it. They took that and then just added in their magic flower, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was yesterday old when I found out that sunflowers and chrysanthemums were related as well, so don't worry.
Yeah, I looked up. I tried to spell that thing that you said. I got the Astrantia flower, also called a masterwort, but it is a very pretty flower. So if anybody wants a pretty flower to go look up Astrantia. It's very nice.
Or masterwort.
Or masterwort.
It's WORT, probably, eh?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Peter, the regular herbalist over here.
I played Halo 1. I am familiar with some warts, okay?
And use it in a sentence?
Yeah, I get Dara, like, for our anniversary, a nice bouquet of warts and warbities, because she loves Halo so much.
Then she gets the hog.
Yeah. She also,
the warthog. It's like a parade float covered in flowers.
Gave my wife the hog for Christmas. The warthog.
Can't take it back, honey.
Okay, so we got a guy doing ayahuasca in the jungle.
He is comparable to this. He learns about this flower while learning the history of the Indapaya, which are the tribesmen that you interact with in Resident Evil 5, because he had the written works of Henry Travis at the university he was going to. This Henry Travis had kind of written down the first documented European contact with the Indapaya in the 19th century. Travis was very much like the lore boy of his day in the 19th century, where he just wrote down stories that he had already heard and that had been told to him by the tribesmen. Like we embed ourselves in the wikis like good anthropologists,
as we do,
and learn. Yeah, exactly. Come back with an annoying accent, and then. And like lore
you
boys,
gotta get all your vaccines before you go to certain wikis. Like, you never know what they can come out with. Yeah,
you could get malaria or hepatitis or something. Researching Pokemon. I mean, Smash Bros. You need a lot of preparation before you go to the Smash Bros. Wiki.
Yeah.
Sonic. You never know what might happen down in those deep wikis.
Criminal background check for one. You got to tell your neighbors your address and like what wikis you've been on, shit like that. You know.
I write on Sonic fandom.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm Ethan, your new neighbor. I go by Ethan Chan on certain Sonic forums. I'm required by law to tell you this.
You got like the Lore Boys medallion made of Play-Doh. Oh my god. The stories that he had been told by the Indapaya while he was with them were hundreds, maybe thousands of years old. But they told him the discovery of the cave where these flowers grew. They had legends that the consumption of these flowers was fatal to almost everyone, until legends said that at least one man was given superhuman abilities. So like a complex chariots of the gods, like stupid ancient aliens bullshit city was built around it. This is a level in the game. Like, as I was reading this, I was like, oh, I do remember all the like stone levers and like impossible mechanisms that are still functioning thousands of years later, sort of thing.
They have like the mirror focused laser death rays that would like sweep down the rows and stuff.
That's exactly it. Yeah, the mirrors were to get sunlight into the caves so that they could continue growing the flowers. Basically,
it just goes to show you how I swear to God I've beaten this game like 10 times and like I have retained none of this lore. Like not any of it.
I hadn't retained any of this, but like as I was reading, I was just like, oh, I do remember these puzzles with whatever the woman's name is, because it was my girlfriend at the time and I were playing through it like 10 years ago or something. Because again, it was couch co-op, so it was just like, oh yeah, what do you want to do? Well, I was like, oh, whatever, we'll play Resident Evil. I don't want to have sex, that's for sure. Let's play RE.
Exactly.
A lot of like the girls that I game with are really into the horror genre, like more so than a lot of the guys that I game
with. White bitches are fucked up, dude. That's why true crime is so popular and like all that other shit. Like that's the thing. All you gotta do, you know, and like whatever, kidnap roleplay. People wanted to fuck Ted Bundy so bad. Like it's been 50 years. And he was getting fan mail. Remember that.
Yeah, he still hasn't returned my emails, but anyways.
He's been dead for a while.
Oh,
I think his death might predate email. Might be the problem.
He couldn't send an email saying, "Hey, I'm dead." He couldn't have out of office replied.
Yeah,
hey, I'm dead right now.
Hi, Ted Bundy. I'm dead for now. You may contact me in the afterlife.
Please contact the penitentiary I was executed in for more information.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So, the king, basically, he became king of the Indapaya. He's after surviving the consumption of the flower and getting his superhuman abilities. He is said to have ruled the tribe for centuries, possibly. Though the legends are unclear, it could have been a succession of kings and queens who could survive the consumption of the sunflower tea. Basically,
it's genetic or whatever. Like they got good genes that can handle it. They got a genetic mutation that says they can eat it.
Yeah, pretty much. It either tastes like soap or it kills you, and these people was that half of the population.
It was the first people with the genetic disposition to consume hot dogs, basically.
Yes.
Where before that, hot dogs would just kill you, and people for thousands of years would eat them and die trying to get that sausagey goodness. But
true. Hot dogs were invented in 1836 by Larry Hot Dogs when he dropped his prize-winning bag of pig assholes into his dick shaper machine, though.
Of course.
I'm always amazed at how well you have these memorized.
Yeah. Don't put Jamie, a bottle of wine, and nothing to do during the pandemic past you. He could learn anything.
He learns all the in and outs of proper Twitch hot tub stream etiquette. And he learns all these hot dog facts. Those are the
but not a third language for some fucking reason.
No, that's too much trouble.
He could have solved like the Fermi paradox in his time off, the betterment of mankind. But instead,
I mean, if Amaranth was speaking Spanish, maybe I would have picked it up.
Amaranth
is very hot.
Is a girl Twitch streamer who I maybe popularized the hot tub streams.
She's like the queen of the meta. She's always one step ahead. Like she was the first one who did like big time hot tub. She did an entire podcast in a hot tub. She does like Just Dance. She started a lot of the popularized ASMR yoga pants phase that got Indie Fox banned, which was her one big nemesis, and now she's the queen on top. Anyways, yeah. But this is not the Amaranth.
You gotta kill your rivals, right?
Yeah. Twitch rival.
Yeah.
Like any good king or queen, I guess if we bring it back here, I suppose there could be some like monarchy rivalries between the hot tub streamers of the whatever centuries ago from the Indapaya tribe. Their version of that. They could kill each other.
Kings and queens over 18.
Yeah.
Hot tub streamers and hot dog streamers. You know, it's the two groups.
Sure.
They hate each other.
They actually they have floaties. I don't know if they have a hot dog one, but they definitely have a giant pickle one. So you can combo those. Yeah. Anyway, please go on.
It does appear, though, that the fall of the Indapaya civilization was due to their livestock starting to mutate after exposure to the flowers, and what is going to be known as the progenitor virus that is caused by the flowers themselves.
Okay.
The progenitor is what is known as an RNA virus. RNA standing for resident nucleic acid, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And actually, which is funny, when I was researching this, we should all be familiar with mRNA now, or at least the acronym, because of the vaccines.
Yeah.
That I got an mRNA one. I don't know.
It's the virus itself too. Like it's because it preys on, it breaks down RNA, right? Which is why the mRNA vaccine is so effective. Anyway,
and NA stands for antenna because it's tiny little antennas that shoot out signals from your blood, so they know where to find you. Right?
My keys are stuck to my chest now, and I got a Game Pass subscription, so it was all worth it. I think.
Yes. But I can get on the bus just by nodding at the driver, and he understands completely. I'm part of
someone at
the club.
like a radar dish on his forehead.
Someone at the dog park today, non-ironically, was telling me that the birds are disappearing because of 5G. Non-ironically, I had to get out of that conversation very quickly.
Yeah. So, in case you guys are feeling bad about some of the idiots in insert your country here, we got them up in Canada, just like you do. Don't you worry.
5G stands for global warming.
Al Gore, like shivering, chattering like in a haunted house with Scooby and the gang.
Al Gore.
Good global warming. Fuck. Speaking of animals being harmed by human intervention here, their garden of evil flowers, I guess that's their climate crisis of the day. The mutated animals managed to escape the sinkhole that they were just like corralled into and kill the king at that time, whether again it was the first guy or another king. One of the many kings of the Indapaya was killed by the mutant animals, and I love how they just had a sinkhole to keep all these mutant animals into. It's like you guys built a complex setup of mirrors to make sure you kept your garden healthy, but you couldn't do anything about your hogs.
Just a big hole. Big hole will do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the highest tech thing. They like all these gears and levers and shit. It's like, just keep them in the hole. Whatever.
In Minecraft, you just get a chicken pit and put all your chickens in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. They didn't have the little conveyor belt to move everything out though, so eventually they managed to stack on top of each other and get out and kill the king.
Right.
Dr. Marcus read all about this in Travis's journals and was completely enthralled. Excuse me. He and his other colleagues, who were also interested in eugenics, which I should have mentioned earlier, they're all big fans of eugenics.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. We're thrilled to hear that may have been an herbal solution to their no Superman problem.
Man.
Yeah. We've been trying to breed people, but most countries around the world, even in the 60s, say that's immoral. But now there's tea somewhere that we could get, and it'll just do it for us, right? Like, that's cool.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. A little bit of green tea, it makes you superhuman. No big deal.
Yeah, PT, which I think is in the actual Resident Evil universe.
It's a Silent Hill universe, so it's kindergarten.
You did the episode.
I'm mixing everything up. I got my Mel Gibsons and my Tom Cruises and my Silent Hills.
Yeah, exactly.
The PT stands for Pell Tipson.
Peruse Tom. Yeah.
Oh no!
I had a big mouthful of beer for that one. My sinuses need a flush anyway. Oh god.
I don't think booze is the right thing for that. You might need some sunflower tea though. Dr. Marcus, Dr. Oswell E. Spencer, and Dr. Edward Ashford got to work. With the help of the father-daughter duo, Brandon and Mylène Bailey. This Mylène, she's got an accent grave on her E, which I guess for our non-French speaking listeners is a little slanty accent on top of the E that goes to the left. Points up and away.
Up and away.
Yeah. Up left, yeah.
Turns out, even these wildly rich university students, who are all like lords and earls and shit like that as well, I didn't put their titles in here because it was just too much. All these wildly rich university students couldn't spot the bill to make potions, apparently. So Dr. Spencer set up Umbrella Pharmaceuticals, which was like a corporate confederation sort of thing, because Umbrella started to get its tendrils into everything from like travel to over-the-counter first aid. The first aid spray in-game is just manufactured over-the-counter, like, topical spray made by
Umbrella.
They also made bioweapons. So anything from, like, aspirin to bioweapons was all totally fair game.
Well, it makes sense. Like, if you want to sell something a lot, it can't last forever, right? Like, if you sell someone a razor, it has to go bad after a few months, so you buy another one. So if you're selling stuff to heal people, you also have to sell stuff to damage people, so you create your own demand, right?
Exactly. If everybody's just healed all the time, then why would they ever need healing spray?
That's why they don't want to cure cancer, Joe.
Yes, we're getting the Joe Rogan bump. Welcome to the Joe Rogan experience. The Poe Togan experience.
I call him Bro Jogan because I think it suits him.
There's still that like cut with whoever he was interviewing.
Miley Cyrus.
Talking to Miley Cyrus that just slayed us.
Yeah.
Find that in our memes channel in Discord eventually. So the company set up base in the cave. So this is in the 60s. They set up their first base in the cave where the sun and trep flowers grew and began to transport them to the U.S.
Okay, I do remember in 5 walking through the cave where there's like a bunch of crushed flowers. That I remember.
Yeah. Requiring another hot, throbbing cash injection, the trio conceived the Tyrant Virus, or T-Virus project, where they would develop the progenitor virus into something more marketable for the military, which was their first bioweapon project.
Was the T-Virus?
This is the T-Virus, yeah.
Okay, which is the
should sound
virus.
familiar.
Yeah.
Exactly. It should sound familiar to anybody who has even like tangentially played Resident Evil or even seen one of the like 30 weird movies that guy made with his wife.
Yeah.
the T-Virus is an iconic video game villain, basically.
Yeah.
Like Bowser or whatever.
Yeah.
Or a skeleton sort of.
No, I didn't know about it, to be honest. I might have heard it a long time ago, but I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, like whatever I don't know, I guess I haven't really played 7, but it's probably the T-Virus in some way that made them like vampires or whatever they are. I guess they're vampires in 8, I don't know how it works, but it's all the T-Virus, basically.
Pretty much everything is the T-Virus or like derived from the T-Virus. It all starts, this is why I'm doing this off Halloween, is so like our October isn't just 4 episodes explaining why Big Boobus Woman is in a castle. It's like, let's just get Umbrella out of the way and we can just have fun after this. I'm doing the paperwork for October, basically.
Sorry, Ethan, your Big Boobus Woman is in another castle. I don't know if it's Ethan in that one. Ethan in 7 for sure.
It's Ethan Winters. It's the same guy. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
In 1968, Dr. Ashford's was killed in what the Union boys were calling an unfortunate accident involving the T-Virus.
Yeah. Fell off the back of a truck onto a box of syringes.
Yes, he did. I don't know what happens. During the 1970s, Dr. Marcus developed the now renamed T-Virus into something to preserve life instead of taking it away in an unrelated experiment. He managed to get the virus to keep people alive, or even bring them back from death. However, the newly relived were said to exhibit signs of brain damage and cannibalism.
Hence
like
yes,
yeah, like the rednecks you start off 7 with. They're They sit you down at a table with a bunch of human parts in front of you.
Yeah, that is straight up just Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first film, though.
Oh, really?
There's a dinner party scene in that movie as well that's taken from, but the Hicks are, maybe a bit slow, maybe just not educated, maybe they don't read so good. Fancy words, not so good here. Okay, big city boy.
Yeah, don't need your book learning. Just need to know how to gut a man.
Oh man, they're not that they're not that slow physically. Because there's a fantastic clip if you go to twitch.tv/theloreboys and just look at our top clips of all time of me in VR running away from this hick that's chasing me, and I get caught on the door and I just lose my shit. Like my neighbors thought I was
fantastic.
Those are extremely fun streams to watch. You should play more horror. Yeah. You can borrow Alien Isolation off me.
Yeah, I think horror VR is like really, really good.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
But you have a PSVR, which doesn't work with a PC.
Oh, fuck, that's true. I'm an idiot.
Or it does, but like in a really stupid way, I think. Yeah. You have to like hack it, which is Jamie's not going to do. Let's be honest, everybody. Listeners at home, Jamie's not going to do it.
They call me honest. Yeah. They call me Honest James. Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out if Jamie figures out how to hack his PSVR after the break. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi,
new research. Hi.
Is Big Boobus in another castle?
Big Boobus is still not here.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I need to explain why Boobus is so big, or else it won't make any sense.
Well, she got the B virus. The
Boobus virus. Dude. No, it's A B C D D D. That's the virus she's got right there.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
A new research lead named William Birkin, which should be familiar to fans of Resident Evil 3, actually, saw the fact that the original T-virus was giving people brain damage and turning them into cannibals, and he was like, neat. And he wanted to expand the T-virus project throughout the rest of the decade, throughout the rest of the 70s and into the 80s. In the 80s, like all good, honest, God-fearing corporations, Umbrella got their mirrors and their Benjamins rolled up and ready for all those cocaine parties that they were about to be having, because of corporate expansion, baby. Let's go. It's the 80s. We got to get high, we got to make money, we got to stab each other in the back. That's Reaganomics.
Yeah, and make zombies.
And also that too, yeah. Dr. Ashford, who we mentioned earlier, his son and his grandchildren were purposefully infected with the T. Veronica strain of the virus and disappeared from public life. They would return to relevance later in Resident Evil Code Veronica, which I think was on the Dreamcast or something.
Oof. Oh. Yeah. Don't. I can pull that up.
There's like 30 Resident Evil games, but Code Veronica I think is on the Dreamcast. I saw the box art yesterday.
Dreamcast in 2000, yeah.
It's
also a Mountain Dew flavor.
Oh, Code Veronica. What would that kind of taste like?
It would.
I just guess blood and guts.
I was gonna say brown hair from the Archie comics. She's
got black hair.
Yeah, but she's like, isn't she call herself a brunette?
I don't know.
And they just didn't have a lot
of Archie episode.
I mean, there's probably a lot there. Honestly, there's probably more
Archie's
there
Weird
than
Mysteries was great. Yeah, Archie's Weird Mysteries was great, and there's also a comic Archie versus Predator, so we could get into it.
Isn't there like a TV series that's like based off of that too?
Yeah,
like
Riverdale.
Yeah.
Netflix series.
Yeah.
Where were we here? Right, after Code Veronica. So we now have Dr. Brandon Bailey, rather. He was forcibly kept on like permanent vacation at the African base in the 80s up until he was executed in 1998. So Umbrella wasted very little time in getting very treacherous as quickly as possible among the executives. Which, good. I mean, that's another part of Reaganomics is, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and and hear the lamentations of the stockholders.
just does a line, then immediately goes, okay, I'll be CEO. Bill's gonna be CFO. You, COO. Brandon, you're gonna be CAO, Chief African Officer. Okay, you're going to Africa. That's the only place you're gonna be. Okay, have fun. Make sure to write. We'll send you a Christmas card.
Yeah. Like all of his letters just get thrown into the ocean with like a ship that's returning back to the Americas after just like dumping offshore. Let's see here. Right. So one of the other things that they wanted to do was create what are called chimeric animals that could be used by various militaries around the world. This was done in response to the discovery of people with a natural immunity to the tyrant strain of the virus. The primary one was a woman named Lisa Trevor. So the immunity you had talked about earlier, Ethan, is part of the canon. And this is why there's like reptile monsters and like a big alligator and shit like that, is because they had to make something to sell to the military if a few people were immune to becoming zombies.
Yeah.
They needed a backup plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing in the games too, where they're always like, they have the strain that makes them into a superhuman, and then it always ends up making them into a monster anyway, but yeah. The idea is like, I've transcended life, and this is my new glorious form. Behold me,
exactly.
my Nyarlathotep horror.
Yeah, exactly. I'm much happier this way, he says, with like a shoulder eye and one of his arms is just a big knife.
Exactly.
Sort of.
It makes it so much easier to put peanut butter on my bread. You don't understand. I'll never go back to the old way of living.
And just no big jar's big enough. He just like cuts the jar in half and scoops it out from the top.
Yeah. But he's still very good at using. Did you guys ever have the little wooden dock to put a bagel in that you could just like cut straight down without cutting your palm open? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a cut on my thumb right now. I'm trying to cut a bagel. I get the guy's misery, you know.
Yeah.
I thought your last name was Palmer, not Thummer.
Well, it could be both. Okay.
Thummer. That's Glover too. Is going to be called Thummer.
Thumb Palmer.
Yeah.
That actually just sounds like the Pornhub spoof.
Oh yeah, Thummer. I barely know it.
No, or like the Spinal Tap album, like Smell the Glover. It's like, you can't have that. This is funny that they made like chimeric animals to sell to the military, because in our Turok episode last week, I mentioned in Jurassic Park, or with like the Bionosaurs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Don't replace human soldiers with things that don't take orders, guys. It's bad writing. It's a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah, it's a bad premise.
Right.
Like it makes a lot more sense if they were using it to like, we're gonna bomb the enemy with like this gas, right? And we're gonna infect an entire city with this gas to destabilize the city or something, right?
Exactly. Like, turn your enemies into monsters. Don't like hire monsters to like march into the city or something like that. Like,
this is Bill. He works in accounts receivable. This is Sandy, finance. Brandon, this is his office, but he is permanently in Africa. And this is the horrible monster that we leave chained to the water cooler. His primary job, you notice he's covered in mouths, is making small talk, but he's kind of an office mascot around here.
Write that down. I want to remember what that looks like.
Just drooling at every corner, like, oh my god.
Well, he would have like the water, because obviously they're always so twisty. He would have like a water cooler fused to him, and then like covered in mouths and like spouts and shit.
Hey there, how was your weekend? It was fine. I'll just take some hot water for my tea, please. Sure thing. Did you see the game?
the little like tray that catches like tea spillage just like goes directly into his body.
His tongue just comes out of that.
Ew.
Nobody likes replacing the water on top, but like now especially, you know, try to put it on like.
That's it.
But you get your 20 cents back if you take the tank out and replace it with another one. So ultimately, it is still worth it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of lazy writing that I'm very tired of, where they just want to use non-humans or non-programmed robots to replace soldiers. Like, a guy with an Xbox controller and a drone does just fine, and he takes orders. Like, maybe he'll go crazy at some point, but what he won't do is eat everyone in the office.
Yeah, exactly.
And corrupt them into other monsters. The category of these chimeric animals and anything related to the T viruses were just kind of shortened down to bioorganic weapons, or BOWs, which again is something you would have heard in the games if you played some of the later ones when the government starts to get involved.
Yeah, Bind on Wooquip, as Jamie would say.
Turok had one of those too.
Bind on Wooquip. Oh, that was a typo, but yeah, exactly. Umbrella had gotten so large at this point that they needed regional offices. This is in the 80s. All of which would start working on their own projects, as well as kind of like sharing notes and doodles for other potential BOWs that they'd want to sell to armies around the world. Umbrella USA was based in Chicago. However, their Arclay and Nest labs would be better known to us gamesmen because they appear in Resident Evils 1 and 2, respectively.
Okay.
Or, I mean, Resident Evils. Is it Residence Evil, like Attorneys General? What do you think the formal title is for the series?
The many faces of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Of the many mouths of Resident Evil. This would be the second one.
Nest was used by William Birkin, the guy from earlier, to research the Golgotha, or G virus, which he managed to isolate in Lisa Trevor by the end of the 80s. So because she had an immunity to the T virus, she was kidnapped and used for experiments until he could isolate a new G virus within her and then use that for basically the exact same reason. The G virus was able to repair cells, though, and heal the body in comparison to the T's ability to turn people into brain-damaged, sterile cannibals. Because the G virus, but this is what you were talking about earlier, Ethan. The G virus is the thing that like every villain of every Resident Evil has in his like pocket protector to jam himself in the chest with after he's been shot by the protagonist. That turns him into a horrible water cooler monster.
Yeah.
Right.
Golgotha, also known as Calvary, is the hill that Jesus Christ was crucified on.
Oh,
outside of Jerusalem's walls. So there's your symbolism. Yeah.
Thank you. Huh, I'm glad that I guess somebody did a little bit of reading here. It's just like, and not just like at Capcom Googled cool English words like they did with Red Dead Redemption. The G virus subjects, though, unlike the sterile zombies, could breed, and they could actually reproduce asexually given time and no one looking.
Which is like I guess how you get the Resident Evil 7 family was their G virus Gs, they're real Gs, they're part of the G unit.
They are, I think they're a G unit in 7, because a lot of the stuff post 4 is like parasite based, which the tyrant strain becomes like a parasite or whatever that you can implant into people. Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. I did see a cool story today, and here's your animal fact of the day, about a shark that gave birth asexually. It's been in a female-only tank for 12 years and just gave birth.
Neat.
Completely unverifiable, considering I just skimmed the article, and I don't remember the source.
What if it comes out like half person? And they're like, wait a second.
I recognize those feet. Jim, you're fired.
Yeah. No, honey, it was God. God impregnated me.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to call you out specifically, Jamie. Jim was just the first guy's name that popped into my head.
Peter honestly thought of a cuck, and you were the first name that came to mind. That's all.
I'm flattered you think that I could approach and meet a shark. I'm terrified of those things.
Yeah. I mean, a nurse shark. I mean, they got the cute outfits at least, you know.
Oh yeah, a little candy striper thing with the hat, at your bedside for days and days and days after you were wounded at war, and you got the little shark like flopping away,
giving you sponge baths. Okay, so we have Pete's either drawing the water cooler monster or Jamie lying in bed getting sponge bathed by a nurse shark.
Nurse shark is fine. We don't have to put Jamie into it,
That's pretty good. Write that down. I might forget that by accident.
There's something there, by the way, with Parasite and Parasol and Umbrella. There's something there. I'll work it out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what they were thinking when they were writing this. Like, wouldn't that be a funny pun?
What are the parasites that are the parasite fish that are attached to sharks too?
That's a remora.
Remora, exactly. Yeah. It all comes together, baby.
When the moon hits your eye like
that's remora.
Two fish having a spaghetti dinner underneath a shark. Catching all the spaghetti that falls out of the shark's mouth. Anyway, Umbrella Europe created the Nemesis Project, And we're
3.
also collaborating which we're also collaborating with Umbrella USA on the Nemesis project. So they took their research into the G virus and into the Nemesis project to create the Nemesis. The reason he is basically indestructible is because he has the accelerated healing of the G virus.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
There you go.
I may have told the story on the podcast before. I definitely played 3. One of my best friends growing up had it. But my most visceral memory of it was sitting in the backseat of his car with his dad, who would not let him play violent video games, and talking about how I wanted to, and this is when I found out that his dad wouldn't let him play violent video games, because talking about how I wanted to play Resident Evil when we got to his place, and his dad just being like, Resident Evil, Matthew, what's that? And just Matt just giving me the cut your throat, shut the fuck up kind of look. Just being like, I'm sure I got him in so much trouble. And he didn't have the game anymore after that.
My mom used to rent PS1 and Resident Evil 1 when we lived in Kuujjuaq. It's like one of the first video games that she ever played. I've still never played it. I was way too young. But yeah, she used to rent and play that.
Oh, cool.
Right. And then so as far as the Umbrella Europe is concerned, I did look it up. They are not connected to the Las Plagas or the Plaga parasite from Resident Evil 4, which takes place in rural Spain. They just happen to be in Europe. The Plaga project is not part of Umbrella Europe. They are not connected. At time of writing it, I did not find anything there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it comes back somehow, but who knows how.
There are fossilized Plaga in Resident Evil 5 I saw pictures of in my research, so they may just be some other thing that they found in that scary African cave sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for that.
Finally, we had Umbrella Japan Co. Limited, which is the real canonical name for some fucking reason. And they were mainly focused on shipping BOWs around the world using cruise ships, the Queen Zenobia, Semiramis, and the Dido. There are a couple of games, I think it's Revelations and Revelations 2, that take place on cruise ships, and these are the Zenobia and that fleet there that was used to secretly ship BOWs around the world, in the ballast, as ballasts, basically.
I mean, if you ever heard stories of everybody on a cruise ship getting sick, it sounds about right.
BOW,
everybody getting the norovirus on a cruise
There's
ship.
always couples on the bow or the BOW trying to show each other how far that they can spit at each other and stuff. So a lot of disease being around. Yeah.
Every ship's got a BOW. You got to give it to them. You got to give it to them.
USA number 1, though. Umbrella USA became the largest employer in Raccoon City, employing nearly a third of the population. So very Amazon of the 90s sort of thing, taking over an entire small town and employing most of the people there. The collapse of the Soviet Union in December 1991 opened up doors for Umbrella's paramilitary branches. Reasonable things that a pharma company would need, because we're all familiar with our modern day Flintstones chewable death squads. That's all just a regular thing that people have, right?
Yeah.
Umbrella had... Sorry?
I would say.
Yeah.
Everyone has it.
Umbrella's paramilitary groups all of these are preceded with Umbrella, so I left it out. There is the Biohazard Countermeasure Service, which was kind of like HR with guns that would protect the company from their own BOWs, in the same way HR protects companies from their own staff. The Security Service, of which Hunk was a part of. He's one of the secondary characters in a bunch of the games, and he was my favorite mercenary to play as in Resident Evil 4. He's the guy in the full SWAT with the gas mask.
Okay.
Yeah. He was my favorite at the time because I was terrible at video games, or worse than I am now. So the fact that you could stagger an enemy with 1 or 2 bullets to the head and then just snap their neck made him. It was quite the crutch.
That's a premium. That's a premium.
Could not play video games very well.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 was hard too, back on the GameCube. I remember grinding through it, but the movement system and all the early Resident Evil games, I guess for anybody who hasn't played them before, 1 to 3 were, like Jamie said, kind of incredibly hard. 1 and 2 probably especially. I think 3 maybe got a bit easier, but just kind of it's really clunky. I think Peter's called them tank controls before. 1 to 3 where you kind of have a static scene and you just got to move your character around it and aiming in that while monsters are chasing you and you can't move and shoot at the same time and all these other factors. Just make them difficult games for sure.
The shitty controls, I have heard tell at least that was intentional because it does ratchet up the tension.
Yeah.
It's the fact you're constantly fumbling for your fucking gun.
Exactly.
And it does. I think it's probably effective. I've never played the old ones, but I have played the first Silent Hill, which also has tank controls. And I know my roommate and I, in like 2016 when we were playing that, he and I were just like, oh fuck, because like every time the camera angle changes, you want to change the way you're controlling it. But like forward, left, and right are always the characters forward, left, and right, not your perspective left and right. So a lot of times you'll like cross into a new scene where the camera angle changes, and then your guy just like pivots on his heels, like he's forgotten where his legs are and what they do, sort of thing.
you go through a door and you instantly go back through the door, and then you're like, oh shit, oh fuck, and you're trying to get back to the door.
That's a gaming experience everyone's had when the camera flips like that. You just walk in and out of the same door.
Yeah, your character should just get vertigo and throw up at that point. He's just like so confused.
Yeah.
And where's the last one here? And finally, so we had Biohazard Countermeasure Service, Security Service, and also the Intelligence Division, where a certain Albert Wesker worked as a mole in the U.S. military. And he could definitely get an entire episode on his own. Albert Wesker is the primary antagonist of the entire series, up until 5 at the very least. Right?
Yeah, you fight him in 5, right? He's like the big bad of 5, I think.
Yeah. You're the one he's the guy you punch the rock at.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm glad I made that clear.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Clear as punching a rock.
Many of the new hires for these paramilitary departments came directly from the Soviet Union or like crumbling ex-Soviet states, and were trained on Rockfort Island starting in 1994. So they spent 2 years getting people ready and then moving them over to Rockfort Island in 94. One such new hire was a genetically unique man named Sergei Vladimir, whose secret clones allowed Umbrella to continue their experimentations on the Tyrant line of products. So his clones would become the baseline for a lot of the larger, like, Nemesis-type enemies that are in the games.
The Los Gigantes of the series.
I don't know if the El Gigante is one of his clones, because that's a Plaga monster, but sure. Similar to that, yeah. 4 with the Plagas is not connected, from what I can see here, to the T-Virus line.
Okay.
If I recall, Wesker wanted the Plaga from like Spain and Africa and shit to just have another product to sell, because I know like the African warlords in the beginning of that game all have Plaga and they force it on people. And then the cultists in Spain in 4 all got it from their weird little Napoleon guy and the other dude with the staff.
Okay, yeah.
If that terrible description of a game that I've played is any use.
Vaguely. So I did Google it quick. Looks like the T-Plaga virus is the one used in RE4, and it's a combination of the T-virus and a Las Plagas parasite.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, sorry. Maybe I'm misreading this. The T-Plaga virus is a combination of the T-virus and the Las Plagas parasite, which is seen in Resident Evil 4. So eventually it comes back, and yeah, like you say, he finds a reason to use it, I guess.
Yeah.
The Plaga.
Yeah. Well, that's live lore for you there. Live lore. Live lore. Lore Boys Live. Coming soon.
Live lore sinks ships.
Live lore love.
Live lore love.
Live lore love. That also is a movie that doesn't have Mel Gibson in it, Jamie. Jesus fucking Christ. The first 3 mainline games and many, many others all take place between 1998 and 2004. There's like I said, there's like 30 or 40 Resident Evil games, like the spin-offs and arcade games. Everything is fucking canon except the movies. So basically everything up until Resident Evil 4 takes place in the span of 6 years, whether like sometimes in parallel or right after one another, or they weave through each other. It's all in that 6-year period.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of the same characters, a lot of the same protagonists, and like every time you play it, it's like you're playing 4 or 5 where like Jill Valentine shows up, who is like the protagonist from 2. And it's like, because it's all right after the events of Raccoon City, right? Which I don't know if we'll get into in this one, but spoiler, the first 3 games are based in Raccoon City, which is a city that the T-virus was unleashed upon, and it becomes Zombie City.
It's in and around, because the Spencer Mansion is the setting for the first game, which is like the Arclay Lab is underneath that. That's on the outskirts. It's close by. Okay. Yeah, it's close by, but it's not in the city. It's off in the forest.
There you go. I've only.
But the zombies have cute little hands. It's like they're little people. Raccoon City.
Yeah, Raccoon City.
Oh yeah. They're washing all their brains in a river and then like nibbling on them. It's very cute.
They give them a sugary brain and it just dissolves. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, when they put him so confused.
Just a panic on his face.
All the blood goes downstream. They don't know where it is anymore.
Like washes off their hands.
Wow, it's so easy for them. Why couldn't Lady Macbeth, find it so easy?
Oh, deep cut.
That's there's your Shakespeare joke for the episode.
Been sitting on that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, God, I can't wait till I can reference out the line "out damned spot" at some point. Go slide that one in there.
Tell Dara to take notes, man. What can I say?
Yeah.
Once those guys get infected in Raccoon City, they have an unresistible urge to eat a pound of flesh. I heard.
Yeah.
That's Merchant of Venice.
It's still Shakespeare. Come on.
That's another movie. That's Al Pacino, not Mel Gibson. Merchant of Venice was the only Al Pacino movie I had seen for literal decades, and the only other one that I've seen is Angels in America.
I don't know if I've ever seen an Al Pacino. I've seen Scarface. That was Al Pacino.
Oh, I saw The Irishman. He's in that, so that's 3.
No, I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, I've never seen Scarface. Anyway,
I've only seen Scarface.
It's good that you summarized the first couple of Resident Evil games, because as I normally do, I do leave the games out here because you can just go play them if you want. Resident Evil 2 and 3 take place during the Raccoon City incident. And like this is kind of where even the Teflon Dons of Umbrella got a little bit too much kind of apocalyptic bad press for them to be able to get through this one here.
Okay.
In 2004, the U.S. Congress revoked Umbrella's right to operate in the country and seized all of its assets. And the president of the time, which I guess for us in 2004 was Bush Jr.?
2004 was Bush,
Yeah, he resigned after facing criticism for, nuking Raccoon City, an American town full of zombies. Yeah. This predates cancel culture, obviously. 2004.
Yeah. This is the America that Charlie Kirk wants. That's
the guy with the tiny face.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. This is Turning Point USA. They want a U.S. politician to be able to nuke a U.S. city because he unleashed a horrible zombie plague upon it without getting canceled. Okay. The man's just trying to make a living, okay? You can't take away his livelihood just for a simple mistake like nuking an entire U.S. city.
True.
Listen, based, actually. So after the resignation of the president of the time, George W. Bush, Resident Evil version, his canonical version, U.S. Strategic Command set up a department specifically to deal with any of Umbrella's unfortunate leaks. That was just called Anti-Umbrella Pursuit and Investigation Team. They got their own department within the U.S. military that just kept an eye on them to stop them from fucking around.
I do hate it when an umbrella leaks. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Project Windstorm or something to turn it inside out. What's the enemy of the umbrella?
The enemy of the umbrella would absolutely be a windy day, like a windy autumn day,
or lightning.
How many people holding umbrellas have been struck by lightning?
Probably a lot.
I bet you more people than people who weren't holding an umbrella.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting statistic we'll probably never be able to find.
I mean, I don't think you should walk out into a lightning storm with an umbrella, is what I'm saying. Unless you're Ben
Next
Franklin.
lightning storm, let's get as many lore folk as we can out into a field. We'll put half of them hold umbrellas, half of them won't.
We need a control.
Oh,
Thank you, Jamie.
That's gonna be our first live. That's gonna be our first live show as an electricity experiment with our
instead of a massive Tesla coil.
It'll be our first live show that goes to live leak immediately.
Yeah. You got like one of our $15 patrons in the like tinfoil suit between those big orbs, just getting the lightning dancing across. So the Anti-Umbrella Pursuit and Investigation Team was given the ability to operate in any country around the world without approval of local governments or even Congress if a BOW was suspected to be on the loose. So we're just like, hey, we caught wind of maybe one of the guys here, maybe one of the guys living in this cave might be a horrible monster. We can't tell. And you've just got the nemesis with like a fake beard on. It's just like, well, we can operate with impunity. We were told by our country that that's okay.
Scorched earth. Eat it, Spain.
Yeah. Take that. Umbrella would lose its base on Rockfort Island, as well as another on Sheena Island, which I didn't get into because it's just part of this kind of this part of the story. There's nothing really important that happens there. The former being overtaken by Albert Wesker and his army of stolen BOWs. So he had control somehow of a couple of bioorganic weapons, and he took over Rockfort Island with them. Other anonymous employees would cause problems as well. Just selling BOWs or recipes to make BOWs on the black market all around the world. Every single person on staff apparently was fucking like Nedry from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
just like smuggling out zombie recipes in a shaving cream can.
I know how you fight BOWs though. You need big, beautiful weapons. I think is what we need to use.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what George Bush went into Iraq for, was BBWs.
Someone threw a shoe at him in that conference. You guys ever see that video?
That video. It's so good. Yo, he's got some reflexes on him. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
His mom probably used to do that shit because he got out of the way quick.
The guy who threw the shoe is very popular on Twitter now. He's got like a big Twitter following as the guy who threw the shoe.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the Fallout Vats recut of that, where it like pauses time and has like the
yeah,
where he like targets Bush's head, whips two shoes at him?
Yeah, I've seen the WoW remix with the dodge / parry.
Yeah,
it's been done. Yeah, I love it.
Where are we here? Anyway, after all of Umbrella's Nedries flooded the market with BOWs, the total amount of bioterrorism threats is unknown, even after all of the games. So, like, after all of the canonical games, we still don't know how many bioterrorism incidents occurred in the RE universe total. The war on bioterror led to the creation of more departments. Like, this is both the creation of, like, man creating monsters, and then man creating departments to
monsters.
to combat monsters for some reason, but like the Resident Evil series, everybody just loves paperwork for some reason.
We're the Department of Monster Vehicles. We only deal with people who have been turned into vehicles via genetic mutation. So
the G virus that turned somebody into a truck.
You got a water cooler monster? No, you're going to want to take that to the Department of Office Supply Monsters. That's down there.
BOW stands for bureaucracy over weapons.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Jamie's just nailing the acronyms right now. He's just like, oh man, I guess there's so many of these. The final one here, the final department that we're going to talk about is it's also the newest one, created in 2001, and that is the Federal Bioterror Commission. And that is once again just another bunch of it's kind of like fucking bioterror has just become a make work, bless you, like a make work project within the government, where it's just like, oh yeah, whatever, we've got all these laminated badges with security clearance, so we might as well just give people jobs that require them, sort of thing, because we can't get a refund.
It's spending the budget, right?
Yeah, exactly. But opposed to spending it on something useful, like literally anything else. So we're just like, we have all this money lying around. Military departments is a good way to spend it, right?
Yeah. It was. Well,
I think so.
I'm sure somebody was like, "Hey, we got to deal with those BOWs, and like, there's no cap on the budget. We'll give you as much budget as you need. God damn it!" And then they took it all, and then they said, like, "Wow, this didn't cost that much because we hire one guy to go into a foreign country and deal with the entire threat every time. His salary is
Leon Kennedy killed 80 guys.
His salary is like $120,000 a year. Like, and yeah, he's got a pension, but it's super affordable. They gave us $33 billion for this program. We got to spin some shit up, guys. Okay.
How much do we expenses? Like, what's the invoice for his briefcase? It was like $160. It was a big one. You could keep a gun in. Okay, and we tell the president it was $800 million for that briefcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The original briefcase. Well, we gave him one, but he met a shady guy in like a cloak who sold him a bigger one as soon as he got there, and he paid for it himself. It wasn't even like agency funds. He just found money on the ground in that country.
Yeah, we told him we gave him a company credit card, but he kept just using gold he stole from peasants to buy things.
You guys seen the Resident Evil 8 vendor? He's like this huge, fat guy, yeah, with like underneath your belly fat too, like where your pubis should be.
Oh, he has a gunt, I believe.
Yeah,
the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big old boy.
Yeah. So after 2001, Umbrella was, kind of on the ropes here with all the scandal. They were now operating exclusively just out of an old chemical plant in the Caucasus Mountains, which is like in between Russia and some of the Stan countries and Turkey and whatnot, like that area. Excuse me. And this was under the command of the OG clone daddy, Sergei Vladimir. So he was in charge of the chemical plant.
Right.
This base was the home of the UMF-013 supercomputer, which was used to make like some AI-enhanced cyborg nemesis in some of the fucking games, like Survivor or whatever.
Sure.
AI controlled. It was just like, wow, these monsters are behaving badly. Maybe we should put a microchip in them or something. Was the strategy there. And the computer also archived all important documentation about Umbrella's research, shady or otherwise. The company was digging through like its pile of concept art as well, like at this time, to try and stay afloat, and just like mass producing BOWs previously designated as worthless. So, like Lore Boys canon, the water cooler thing is real because
they had to sell it at some point.
Exactly. It's like they had the genetic code, they had T-virus to spare, and somebody at some point needed a paycheck. Like that's it. Or even then, it's not to bring it back. My favorite invention on the planet. It's like, no, it's not just a mousetrap. There's also a gun on it.
Yeah. Exactly. This guy's got a gun for hands. Well, that sounds pretty useful. No, he only shoots mice. But keep him in your house. You'll shoot the mice in your house.
It's like Edward Scissorhands, but just like with revolvers for hands, and all he does is shoot vermin.
Yeah.
Revolver. Imagine trying to use chopsticks.
Yeah. You can stick him in the barrel.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, eating a kebab would be easy at the very least.
Do you think I could learn to cut hair?
You're like, it's like shooting it off. Eventually, like, this umbrella does have leaks in it. It's a cheap one. It's going to get ruined in the first storm you take it out into. Eventually, a nearby village suffered an outbreak, and the chemical facility was now on everybody's radar, including Albert Wesker's, who managed to get into the facility, download all the feet pics that he had left behind, and then format the data on the supercomputer. So he was the only one left with Umbrella's feet pics, basically.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Like any good corporation, Umbrella spent the remainder of 2003 and 4 fighting the U.S. government in court, trying to force blame onto them and counter-accusing the government of covering up their own involvement with all the bioterror, which...
I mean, fair.
It was all pointless in the end, because Albert Wesker made a secret deal with the court and showed them some choice excerpts from his cache of documentation. Umbrella USA and Europe went bankrupt shortly thereafter in 2004, and Japan Co. Ltd's reputation meant it never found a buyer. So that is Umbrella from Resident Evil, everybody.
Cool.
Thank you all for listening. I have been your host, Mad Max, Peter O'Donoghue. We will get to that one. We will get to that one eventually, if with help from the community. And
we'll get to that one if somebody does the legwork for Peter.
If somebody finds me the information, I will happily cover it, because I like Fury Road a lot, and it seems like a really good setup for something. But I would like to know why it got requested so much for something that I couldn't find anything about. But
that
please,
might be why. I'm guessing just like people love the series, love the franchise, think there's probably a lot to it, but they've never gone deeper because it's not there.
Yeah. It's an apocalypse movie because the sets were garbage, is what I found. And, like, that's fairly interesting, but, like, whatever. Regardless, if you want to do that, go to loreboys.com/about and join the Discord, join the lore requests channel, and just DM me from there with any Mad Max stuff or anything else you want requested. Just leave in the lore requests. Or you can email us, loreboyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Jimbo, Jamie.
Hi. You can find me on the Discord. Like they said, go to that thing and you'll find us on the Discord.
Yeah.
Yep. All the links to our socials are in the description of this episode as well. So if you don't want to go to loreboys.com/about, you can just click the Discord link in this episode. And it should work. And if it doesn't work, then go to friggin' loreboys.com/about and find the Discord link.
I think if you go to your nearest street corner and just start yelling Lore Boys over and over again, someone will give you the Discord link as well.
Yeah. For sure, if you leave a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice, thumbs up or whatever the equivalent might be, you probably end up in the Discord as well. I can't promise that, but I can say with 100% certainty that it will happen, and you can try.
Yeah.
I've been Ethan Palmer. Thanks so much to our new patrons that Peter called out at the top of the show that I forgot to call out like 2 weeks ago, and Jamie forgot to call out last week. And you guys are great. If you want to be a patron, patreon.com/theloreboys. It means the world to us. You guys definitely keep the lights on. And it's super cool to see how much the community has grown in the last 6 months. It really does feel like this train is running out of control. We have shoveled too much coal into this lore fire, and we're about to go off the tracks here. But while
like a train rolling downhill or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The snowball's picking up steam.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone in the Discord. Thanks to everyone who chats with us, who asks for stuff. Thanks to everyone who lurks, everyone who just listens to the episode and doesn't participate in any of our socials. You guys mean a lot too. So thanks so much. And if anybody wants to support the show and doesn't want to give us money, we do need volunteers for an experiment we're going to be running. We want to start small, so we don't know how to make lightning yet. So if you could just stick a fork in an outlet and tell me the results of such an event, then
I'm working on the Tesla virus, also known as the T virus.
Yeah,
we're trying to see how that works out.
Nikolai Tesla virus. Yeah.
I want to see if sick people conduct electricity better. So that's the thing that I'm looking into.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to see if getting a little sparky shock will give you superpowers, and there's only one way to find out. Full disclaimer: please don't do this. Yeah, God, please don't
Jesus
do this.
Christ, no.
And I think that would constitute a Lore Boys.
Lore Boys.
Out. Yeah, go ahead and give me a sound check, fellas.
I'm going to give you 5 seconds of sweet...
Is this voluntary or is this just
what the fuck is happening?
You guys see my KFC 11 herbs and spices fire log?
What?
Yeah?
Is that real?
Yeah, it's a scented fire log, scented like the Colonel's delicious blend of herbs and spices.
Is that the one in the box there? Is that to clean your chimney? Or is that the one for the bats?
It's to dirty the house. I can only assume.
We're vegetarian. We don't eat meat. We only burn it in our fireplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the smell of it.
Wait, oh my fucking god, you're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
That is... What?
That's crazy.
So the other day,
I thought you were going to explain the joke, not show me that you were telling the truth. My name is Peter, and I'm coming. Ethan's camera going absolutely ballistic is what really gets me. What the fuck?
My name's James, and Ethan's camera is switching from landscape to portrait and then just flipping back and forth mirror over and over again. It looks like he's in like upside down world now.
Another dimension.
Jailbirds.
My name's Ethan, and I don't know the porn clip that Peter is referring to, but I like the meme of the guy going, nice.
Oh, I love that one, yeah.
Is that a porn too?
I can only assume, based on what Peter told me previously about how all memes are porn.
Fucking God.
Is he? No, he's not the ice cream guy. That's the other guy.
Johnny's. Oh, yeah, that's a 10.
Yeah, that's a 10, yeah.
My name's Ethan. In the nut-milk equation, I prefer the milk to the nuts.
If I in milk and nuts, the great hack from the NES game, I prefer the nuts. I gotta say, the nuts are
You're a nut man.
where it's at. No, a nutman. Nutman.
That's nutty.
I guess as a tiebreaker, my name is Peter. A tiebreaker, I'd probably have to go with what's the main ingredient in Nutella? Because I definitely preferred it over peanut butter.
Hazelnut.
All right, well then I'm a nutsman as well.
But you say you preferred it to peanut butter, but peanut butter is also nuts. It's not milk. You know that, right?
It did not even occur to me, actually. I was like, yeah, that makes sense in my head.